All right, welcome into this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast. Corey Moen, Evan Byrne. Evan, how we doing?
Horrible.
Yeah. So obviously, if you missed last night's game, with about 6:25 and change left in the fourth quarter, Milwaukee had a 101-89 lead. Really outside of Jimmy Butler going off, just going ham virtually the whole game. Milwaukee was in control. Unfortunately, that lead evaporated, and Milwaukee ended up losing the game 119 to 114. Once again, off the back of Jimmy Butler. So, Evan, I know you had to work the Brewer game yesterday. So, I guess, what did you see from either the highlights or, I guess, the little of the game that you saw?
So I had the game I worked yesterday I didn't have a lot to do. So the guys in the suites I was talking to and giving me updates on the game, and near the end of the game, they had it playing on the concourse, and I literally sat there and I watched them lose. That was the only part that I watched was them losing. And what confuses me, so the way I'm gonna kind of speak into existence is I'm gonna say that the Bucks are out. I'm not gonna put the hope into my expectations of yes, winning 3 games. It's possible. Yes, it's possible, but is it reasonable? No. So I almost just want to put in the mentality like the Bucks are out, and I don't want to get my hopes up. It could happen. Do I think so? No. So I'm just gonna be, when I say that they're out, I'm just going there's no way they're coming back. So my first thing is there's three of the saw and read about. I didn't rewatch the game because that would have put me. Yep. I watched what I needed to watch.
Yep.
And okay. The first thing is Giannis triple-double. Brook, 36 points.
No.
13 for 23 shooting. Giannis was 12 for 22. Almost the exact same thing. Brook, 4 for 7 on threes. 6 for 6 on free throws, which means he went to the paint. 7 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive rebounds, 11 rebounds. Double-double.
Yep.
And 3 blocks. 2 fouls. That's an insane game. Giannis triple-double. 10 rebounds. 13 assists. 1 steal, 2 blocks. 6 turnovers. That's not good. So those 2 performances are incredible. And then Chris Middleton, 4 for 12. 2 for 5 on 3. He had 6 rebounds and 8 assists, but 4 for 12. Drew Holiday, 6 for 19. I didn't know he was 2 for 11 on threes. I couldn't watch the game. I didn't look until after. And the 1 3 I saw him hit, I was a pivotal 3. Obviously, they still lost, but he hit that one at the end of the game. First of all, the only thing I respect out of Drew is he's got to have some balls to continue to shoot after he's 1 for whatever it was until he made that 3 right at the end of the game. To continue to shoot like that is incredible mentality, but that's not what the Bucks are looking for at that point. So Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, holy crap, dude. That combining really quick math, 4 for 16 on 3-pointers is horrible. And 10 shots in general out of 31, 32, 31, I think shots is also horrible. So the fact that Chris and Drew aren't showing up anymore is just, it's one of those things where it's I think of the future. That's how I always think of things of what is going to happen. I'll get to that later after we kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
And then my other thing is our pal, our good friend, Coach Budenholzer. Budenholzer is I respected him as the Hawks coach, and when they were looking for new coaches after they fired Jason Kidd, he was my front runner. I wanted him. Or I think Rick Carlisle was the other one that I don't remember. There's one other one that I was looking for, but Budenholzer was someone that I wanted. They got him. They did incredible in the 2018-2019 season.
Yep.
Even better in the 1920 season, and unfortunately it got cut off because of COVID. Again, nothing that they could have done. Obviously incredible in 2021 because they won it. Incredible last year and incredible this year. And you have one championship. You're like not the title. I would say the last 3 years, you're like the title favorites, or for sure this year and last year. 2019 to 2020, I would assume they were because they were on top. They weren't losing. They were blowing people out. They were winning by a lot, especially at home. And then you get to the playoffs, and it's like, I don't know how to coach anymore. And it's what pisses me off about Budenholzer. And I honestly, I hope when the Bucks lose, I hope he's gone. I don't like this isn't working out anymore because you get the championship in 2021 saved not his career because he'll get picked up somewhere else, but saved his Bucks job.
Yeah.
And then to lose last year, you could have beat the Celtics without Chris Middleton. I can guarantee that. Could they have won the finals? Maybe not. But to get to the finals is one of the things is you need to get to that spot in order to get like that respected. You keep getting to the finals. Maybe you're not winning every single one because you're not going to. But for his mentality to never adjust to when he's wrong or when things are going horrible, why would you keep that guy?
Yeah.
If you let a 15-0 run go and you don't call a timeout, that's a bonehead move. That's the stupidest thing you could have done, or actually could not have done because he didn't do it. You let the whole game. The Bucks won the entire game. They won 42 minutes of that game, and they lost because of 6 minutes, about 6.5 minutes of game. That's it. Because Budenholzer, 1, doesn't adjust to change. 2, plays all the same guys. 3, runs the starters into the ground. And 4, just doesn't know what he's doing when things don't work. He doesn't adjust anything. Why did the Bucks trade for Jay Crowder if he did not play a second of that game? Why did the Bucks go get Goran Dragic and he didn't play 1 second of that game? Why did only 9 guys play? And actually, really 8 guys because Javon Carter played for like 20 seconds.
9 seconds.
And Bobby played 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Brooke was having a hell of a game. Mentioned that earlier. Yeah. But to play your starters 38 minutes for Giannis, 37 for Chris, 39 for Brooke, 41 for Drew, who did the worst out of all the starters, and Grayson Allen 33. I don't know. It's like a Tom Thibodeau. He's gonna ruin these guys. I'm not gonna say he's ruined everyone's career, but like that's how people get hurt.
Yeah.
And like that's how people like they're whatever. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but like that's why Derrick Rose's knees were so bad because he's playing every second, or it's these guys are worn out because they're playing 37 plus minutes out of the 48 minute game. And I don't know. I'm at this point, I'm shied away from backing up Budenholzer, and I'm putting my foot down. I'm like, he needs to be fired after this season.
Yeah, and it almost makes you question if Darvin Ham would have been a better coach for this team.
And now every single assistant for the Bucks are like leaving because they realize how good they can be, and now they're going to different teams. The Lakers are up 3-1 to the Grizzlies. The Lakers had one of the worst starts of the season, and here they are walking over the Grizzlies. LeBron had an amazing game yesterday, and now I forgot his name, but is looking at the Detroit Pistons job, and it's like
Charles Lee.
Yep, Charles Lee. I knew it was Charles. But they're like picking him off because of how good the Bucks coaching is. Well, if the assistant coaches are better than the head coach, why would you keep him? And I'll let you give an input before I do another run. If you want to take the floor, I don't want to take the whole thing.
So the game was frustrating for a multitude of reasons. Number one, it was more of the same. Okay. I don't understand why we're not giving Jimmy Butler a different look. Okay. There's no double teams. There's no trap defense. Okay. It's single coverage, Drew Holiday or Chris Middleton. You got to at least put Giannis on him a few possessions. Okay, I'm not saying Giannis needs to guard him the whole game because you know what, when the best player guards the other best player, you don't want Giannis to be exhausted on the offensive end. So I understand why they don't guard him for the entire game. All I'm asking for is a few possessions just to slow him down, and they didn't do that. This isn't Jimmy Butler isn't Kevin Durant. The shots Kevin Durant made in the 2021 playoffs against PJ Tucker, mainly guarding him, were insane. I don't think any human can make the shots Kevin Durant made. But Jimmy Butler, these are just walk-in mid-range jumpers or walk-in like he gets Drew Holiday on the block, he backs him down, easy layup. Like this isn't rocket science here. Like Jimmy Butler is not Kevin Durant. So the fact that they're not double teaming him, okay, and not forcing the other guys to beat him, okay, that's astounding to me. The fact that they don't even literally watching Duncan Robinson play against the Bucks in this series, it was as if the Bucks that was the first time they he picked up a basketball. How do you not know how to guard Duncan Robinson? These are simple dribble handoffs, okay, and these are walk-in threes. It's like Milwaukee's never seen a play being run for a three-point player before. These are simple plays.
Yes.
That's a frustrating aspect for Budenholzer, is that he doesn't adjust. Okay, he just, guy's going off against us. Well,
yep, can't do anything about it.
Well, no, and then he's telling the sideline reporter, it makes me even more mad. Well, we got to do a better job on Butler. Well, then do it.
Yeah.
That's what people in the playoffs do. They adjust. We never adjusted. Jimmy Butler, despite the fact that everyone thought, he's just going to tire himself out, he never did.
No.
He never tired himself out.
After 5
He just kept scoring. He scored 19 fourth-quarter points. That's on you. That's not anybody else. That's not on the defense. That's on you. That's your defensive scheme, okay? That's your defensive scheme that you've run for the past 4 years. You've run that same stupid drop coverage thing for the past 4 years, and everybody just rains in threes on us. That's the problem. I don't care that Miami had 13 threes. They made crucial ones down the stretch.
Yep.
Caleb Martin made a crucial one down the stretch. Duncan Robinson made three threes, 9 points. These are crucial points. Jimmy Butler, they don't even respect Jimmy Butler from the three-point line. Drew Holiday is one of our best defenders, and he's like, I'm not even gonna bother with that. And he's still drawing a three in our face. So it's like what the Bucks need to realize is regular season stats don't matter. They don't. Okay? Nobody cares how you run the regular season. Everybody cares how you run in the playoffs. Okay? Here's what I'm worried about with Budenholzer. I'm worried that John Horst is going to get content, be like, wow, we did have the best record in the NBA. That says something. And then he's going to run it back with him. Dude,
yep, I have a thing on John Horst too.
This is about championships, okay? And look, I understand why people are saying, well, why didn't they play Jay Crowder? I don't think Jay Crowder would have made much of a difference because I've been watching very closely with the matchups between him and Butler. He's not as fast or as quick as he used to be. He can't keep up with Jimmy Butler, okay? And he's not going to provide you any offense. Like just watching it, it's like Jimmy Butler breezes right past him. I don't think Jay Crowder would have made much of a difference because he's just not the defender he used to be. Okay, he's sitting out these 4 months. Okay, he's lost a step, and that is why that's what I was saying. The risk that you in acquiring a guy like Jay Crowder when he ends up picked up a basketball in a few months when they made that trade, that's the risk you take. Is he still going to be the same defender? No. Can he be the same shooter? Maybe. But based on what I've seen, Jay Crowder is only a good shooter when he can be in the main role. But he's just surrounded by talent. And he's obviously taking less shots per game. So, and look, I don't understand why we don't play Dragic or even throw Beauchamp in there. Why not?
Why
not?
Why get these guys if you don't why waste all your money if you're not going to use them? It's stupid.
I know.
And I think the big thing with John Horst, well, first of all, if the Bucks are dumb enough to keep Budenholzer after this year,
Uh-huh.
they need to cut the 3-point crap. If realistically, the scheme for the Bucks is to shoot as many threes as possible. If John Horst is getting all of these 3-point shooters to make 13 of 40, what the hell? Like that, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Like logistically, I'm saying Grayson Allen is the best 3-point shooter on the Bucks. And if that's I think Bobby Portis is a good 3-point shooter. He can have games where he can make 5 or 6. But when your scheme is to just make 3-pointers, why are you getting guys who can't make 3-pointers? And why are you getting guys who can't consistently make 3-pointers?
Uh-huh.
You're shooting 13 for 40. Yeah, that's 32.5%. The Heat shot 13 of 32, 40%.
Yeah.
But they have guys who aren't realistically 3-point shooters. Kevin Love had 2. Jimmy Butler had 3, and he had 2. He was 1 for, let me math really quick, 1 for 6, and he made those 2 back-to-back. He got those lucky ass threes because he's hot. This is his shit.
Yeah.
You got Vincent who shot 2 for 6, and like Duncan Robinson. And you have guys who went 2 for 3, 1 for 3, 3 for 4, 2 for 6. You didn't have guys who went 2 for 11, 2 for 5, 1 for 4, 1 for 6. Like Pat Connaughton, he's our 3-point shooter guy. Grayson Allen, 2 for 5. Not bad, but if you're like the leading guy, you're going to need more from him. Drew Holiday, 2 for 11. Giannis, why did you shoot a 3-pointer? I don't know. But it's like, why is our center like one of our best 3-point shooters? Like John Horst needs to either dump that shit with Budenholzer and the 3-pointer if he's going to keep him, or he needs to somehow get guys who can shoot a 3-pointer and make them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you're not going to make every single 3-point shot you take, but for guys to shoot 2 for 11, he's done that multiple times this year. And to shoot 1 for 4 or 1 for 5 or 2 for 6, that can't happen. You need to get guys who are going to shoot 2 for 3 or 2 for 4 consistently and not have 2 guys shoot like way more threes and everyone else take 1 or 2. Like it can't happen. Now, I'm not saying John Horst is the guy to blame because that's stupid. But if your scheme is to make 3-pointers, then you need to figure that out because it hasn't worked in 5 years.
Yeah.
Like getting Mirotic and getting I don't remember his somewhat Joe Ingles and like all these guys who are like you think are gonna come in and like shoot 3-pointers and like make them like it doesn't work. It does not work, and it's never going to work. The Bucks aren't gonna randomly just shoot 70% from 3 or like it's not gonna happen. It's physically impossible. You need to get guys who are gonna drive to the hoop and score the basketball. Grayson Allen can drive to the hoop, but you tell him to shoot threes. Drew Holiday can drive to the hoop, but you tell them to shoot 3. It's like I don't know. I'm not a GM. I'm not a coach. I don't know anything about coaching basketball. I've coached a little bit. That was middle school. I don't know anything, but like realistically, from a fan who's watched for 20 plus years consistently, it's dumbfounding to see like just all these simple things that a regular old fan can like pick out and pinpoint. I don't know. I don't know. That's just my only things of his. I don't know. I'm not the coach. I'm not the GM. They can figure it out. They're the smarter ones. They make the big bucks. I do not. But it's odd to me.
And seemingly, and you are right about that, is like if you really go back to when the playoff run started, Milwaukee really has never shot the ball well from 3.
No.
There hasn't been a series. There hasn't been like all the series I've watched. Maybe Boston in 2019 when everybody was just hot. But
the one is the 2021 Bulls game where Bryn Forbes went off. Last year in the Bulls, Grayson Allen went off. And then again, I mentioned the last time, then they go Danny Phantom. They just ghost. They disappear. And it's I would rather have it be consistent throughout the entire playoff run than have a historic first round 3-point shooting against the Bulls. Like, my God. I meant the Heat for Bryn Forbes for 2021.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And the Bulls for last year, now that I think about it.
Yeah, and if you look back to those stats, I've mentioned this before, is Milwaukee's 2021 championship run shot 32% from 3.
Uh-huh.
It was Chris Middleton. Okay. And I've been thinking about this player in particular. Speaking of that 2021 championship run, I think Milwaukee is missing a guy like PJ Tucker. Just an alpha who because I think if Milwaukee still had PJ Tucker going up against Jimmy Butler, I think PJ Tucker could not necessarily shut him down by himself, but I think he would having a bigger body on Jimmy Butler. I think it's something that would help.
It's the physicality of his build.
Yeah,
he's not tall, but he could that's why he was on Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
he's not tall at all. I mean, he is, but he's not he's a big body guy.
Yeah, I just don't think. Look, Jimmy Butler is a physical player. Okay, and I just don't think I like Drew Holiday. Don't get me wrong; I think Drew Holiday is a good defender, but you bring him down. Jimmy Butler puts him down the whole block, and it's over. Okay, and I think Jimmy Butler. I don't think Chris Middleton this year, defensively really hasn't been the same. I think Jimmy Butler. There's a couple of possessions yesterday where he kind of blew right past Chris Middleton. So. I mean, look, it's frustrating because, looking up the stats, Jimmy Butler's averaged 36 points a game against the Bucks in the first round.
And yet nothing is done about it.
No.
It all circles right back to that. Nothing is done about it. I'm gonna say a take that it's gonna be, I don't know how you'll feel about it, but it doesn't really affect me as much. At this point, the Bucks are turning into the Packers. You have a generational player who it struggles for a little bit, establishes himself, they win, and then they're the best team, and then boom, 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 they're out first round, second round. Like the Packers when they went 15-1, out the first round.
Yeah.
It's a weird take. It's like you got Aaron Rodgers, you got Giannis, you got they. If realistically, Giannis should be retiring with 4 rings, 3 to 4, realistically, and I think, he'll just get the treatment that because he only has 1 ring, he made it to the finals once, he has 1 ring, everything else is going to be brushed aside because he had the chances to win multiple, but he couldn't get there because every time they choked in the playoffs. Again, just like the Packers. For those listening, I'm not a Packer. I'm not a football fan, so it doesn't affect me as much as some. But it's that same situation where they're the best team in the league, and then they're gone, and I blink and they're done. It's like they've never played again, or they played before.
I'm going to give that a few more years. Okay, because
yes, I agree.
You have to kind of give it a few more years because with Green Bay, it's like. Oh, well, I mean, because you feel like every year is your year. And that's a beauty of being a fan. I felt like as a Packers fan, anytime we had Aaron Rodgers as our quarterback, I felt like one of these years we were going to go to the Super Bowl. Came very close to 2014 before that whole collapse happened, and it still haunts me to this day. I got to give Giannis a few more years.
Okay? Yes. I 100% agree.
Because I think that we just got to see what ends up happening next year. And then the other thing we got to start thinking about is, okay, well, and that's the thing is everybody my thing is like, if they lose in the first round, you're right. I do believe they have to fire Coach Budenholzer. The bottom fell out. I don't think at this point it's like you kind of got to weigh the pros and the cons here. Let's see, he's been here 5 years. Won a championship, have the NBA's best record, get bounced in the first round. Like, that's not the standard that Milwaukee should be held to.
It's win the finals or it's a bust.
You have to. And, I mean, and I understand the popular thing with Mike Budenholzer's coaching playoff gaffes, whatever you want to call it, is fire Coach Budenholzer. And now I think this year it could happen because it could have happened 2 years ago.
Yep, he's had 2. Again, realistically, the Bucks probably will not get out of this. There is a 99% chance they don't. So 2 years to then kind of get back to where they were in 2021, I think is realistic.
Yeah, and look, it's fine to fire Coach Budenholzer, but then it's like, who do you want next then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, you got guys like you got assistant coaches on the market. You know, Nick Nurse from the Raptors.
Yep. Yeah, that was going to be my take later on of Nick Nurse.
You know, so I mean that's a question to ask is, you know, Nick Nurse has won a championship before, knocked off Coach Budenholzer to get there. What you really got to ask yourself, and actually we can get to this right now, would Nick Nurse hypothetically be a better option than Mike Budenholzer?
It's what interests me about him. One, he's won a championship. Again, they beat the Bucks. They were able to adjust being down 2-0. And I just think it helped out with Kawhi.
Yes.
Obviously, you have a superstar on the team. And like it was like at that time, it was kind of like the Bucks. You got Giannis, who's like that's when he wins his first MVP, and then like or I don't remember years wise. But like you got your main guy, and then you got like all the role players with them. And it's not like you're superstar heavy or you're like super like the first time ever in the playoffs, like you've never done this before and you get a good run. But it's like he has like the accolades and the capability, I think, of coaching a team with Giannis and other guys, especially with the familiarity of it. Again, it's one of those things where do you go with the guy with experience or do you risk it and do you go with an assistant?
Or and this name's always popular and brought up every year. It's still weird that Mark Jackson hasn't found another head coaching job. Like that aspect of it is weird. Now, do I think they would hire Mark Jackson if they fired Coach Budenholzer? Probably not. I do think they more or less would go the Nick Nurse route because I do think he actually has ties to the Midwest. I think he's from Iowa. You know, I think you know it's interesting. We just kind of have to see what happens. If Detroit decides to not hire Charles Lee, would they just promote him to head coach? Because look, I think what this would prove if Milwaukee loses in the first round is it would just prove Mike Budenholzer is just a good regular season coach.
Yes,
is a dominant regular season coach. Can doesn't have to adjust as much in the regular season, but once he gets to the playoffs, it's like it's not. It just he just has trouble adjusting, and then you got to start to think about, well, if Mike Budenholzer gets fired, then where would he go? Like, is there what other jobs are available? Like, who's going to be firing their coaches?
Because is he going to go to the Raptors? Or are we going to make a trade? Is he going to go to the Sorry, not the Raptors again. The Rockets.
The Rockets already hired their coach.
Oh, they did? Okay, I missed that.
This is not going to sound good. Semi-breaking news is the Rockets have decided on Ime Udoka to be their next head coach.
Oh, okay. I did see rumors. I did not know that was okay. I saw rumors of it. I legitimately forgot about that guy. I forgot he existed.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's going to be coaching a young team. That's kind of like one of those movies. Like, I don't know, whatever movie it is, like the Mighty Ducks or something. Guys at one point in his life on top of the world. Coaching the Celtics to the finals last year. Couple allegations against him, gets fired, is about to go to the Nets, and now he has to coach one of the worst teams in the league.
Yep.
So, I mean, if fall from grace, I guess is what we would go with here. That'd be Mike Budenholzer going to Canada. That's fitting. I mean, look, if he goes to the Raptors, that's not exactly a bad spot because they have a lot of talent there still.
We just make a trade or a coach trade really quick. Like we'll give you.
And you know what? Milwaukee's done that before. When they fired Larry Drew and gave up a pick for Jason Kidd.
Look how that turned out.
Well, it was. 4 mediocre years, I guess we can call it. Yeah, it was about 4 mediocre years, but I mean, look, we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, because John Horst could be like, well, we did have the best regular season record, and so you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, it is less awkward because Mike Budenholzer is probably not going to win Coach of the Year, but I think if Milwaukee does as a series, and if he's like wants to move forward, then you would fire head coach Mike Budenholzer because, you've seen organizations such as the Nuggets with George Karl and the Raptors with Dwayne Casey.
Yep.
Fire coaches after winning Coach of the Year.
And Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse.
You fire two coaches of that one Coaches of the Year, like the year. I know Dwayne Casey was the year of. Nick Nurse obviously wasn't, but it's a weird scenario. And like my biggest thing that I think of it as, I don't want to, and like I don't know like realistically like how effective this could be, but like what happens if Budenholzer's gone and Chris Middleton's gone? What happens with Giannis? Like I always think like down the road, like is Giannis going to want to stay on the Bucks if they just keep losing? I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either. No, and
can't piss off Giannis. That's the only thing. And I don't think he would leave. I keep saying realistically because I don't know if I can't predict the future. Fun fact. But it's like one of those things where it's like he's established so much in Milwaukee. Like, would he just want to dump that all away? But like, I don't know, like the relationship that him and Chris have. Obviously, they've been through Giannis's entire career has been with Chris Middleton. They won together, but like, is Chris isn't Chris anymore.
Mm-mm.
And he's just too injury prone now, which is why I'm coming back to the take of getting Damian trading now. But
Damian Lillard. Well, and here's the thing. I kind of read something about this. Milwaukee wasn't on the list of interested teams to acquire the services of Damian Lillard.
I think he's going to go to the Nets.
Why would you?
I mean, he was with again a speculation, one would say, but like he was at the Nets game, like I think like a year or two ago, he was talking about like how he liked Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges and stuff like that, and was like at the Nets game. Like it's kind of weird. That's a weird way to like say that like he's going there, but like I think Cam Johnson wants a lot of money. Where it's like, is he worth that much money? And it's one of those situations where I don't even know if like how much they could afford for it. Obviously they could because they're the Nets, but like I don't know. My two off-season takes is I think Budenholzer should be gone. I think the Bucks need to unfortunately shy away from Chris Middleton. As horrible and like I hate to say it, but like Chris Middleton's like been like my favorite player on the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
I like to cheer for the underdogs, and it's hard because they're gone every year or every 2 years. So like Chris Middleton was like my guy that I wanted to rely on. But like I don't know. I don't think it's worth paying him again. And going 2 years
that's
with
the thing.
injury.
You've gotten like a couple of 1 or 2 big money contracts from Milwaukee, or I guess team controlled, team friendly contracts, I'd call them, from Milwaukee. But now it's like, all right, well now he had the offseason wrist surgery. Then he had the sore knee, missed a lot of time with that. So then it's like, well, where exactly do you go from here? Now, granted, he's been relatively healthy these playoffs, but I'm wondering like how healthy is he? Because sometimes he doesn't look to be the same to me. Like he's not. And now, like, I'm not expecting Chris Middleton to give me 20 every game.
Yeah,
but the shooting numbers are a little gaudy, I guess we can call them. Not very good. And Giannis, I think his health has to be put into question too. I know he scored 26 yesterday, but
you see, he had to get like a liquid IV to like before the game to like release some of the pain. I saw something like that, and he still dropped a triple double, and you still couldn't do that. It's bonkers to me of what the Bucks are doing right now.
And kind of watching him yesterday, I don't think he's moving the same as he obviously was before, and probably maybe still has the back injury. I know he is improving on it, but again, Jimmy Butler, game 3, he fell on his back, and he didn't.
Yeah, the game before, game 3,
and he didn't look like he missed a beat. So
then just casually drops a career high. So,
and by the way, I did see someone where I saw a video where someone was like, "Oh yeah, thanks to Kevin Love for like ruining our season or something because Giannis was out." And I'm like, well, that was a clean play. Like you can love it or hate it. I think there's a lot of people who don't like the fact that a guy could just slide over and take a charge.
Mm-hmm.
These are basketball plays. Like I understand people are going to complain about it. I get that. Injuries suck in the NBA. You've seen a lot of them in the playoffs so far. With Ja Morant and guys like that. But these aren't dirty like malicious plays. To my opinion, they're basketball plays.
It's just unfortunate.
It's like as long as the NBA hasn't enacted a rule yet, it's like I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. It's not like he's diving for your knees.
Mm-hmm.
It's I guess there are some rules I wish the NBA would change about the block charge. Like I still don't understand why when a guy's in midair and he, like, for example, makes a pass and kind of knocks the guy over, it's called an offensive foul. Or if a guy's shooting towards the basket and the shot's already off, and then he like barrels the guy over, why is that an offensive foul? Like that aspect of it, I don't understand. But
yeah, I think one of the big things when you're talking about like things that you want to see changed, I think this isn't like it's kind of like a rule change because they kind of mentioned it a couple weeks ago that we talked about. I think it was stupid of the Bucks to sit all their guys the last 3 games. That was dumb. It's not like you need to start them and play them 35 minutes or like 30 to 35 minutes. Maybe play the first quarter, the third quarter, the second and the third quarter, 4 to 5 minutes, a quarter. It's like one of those things where it's like just let them like stay loose. The Bucks need to figure that out. That it was dumb to sit them, and
real quick aside, I'll probably let you get back to your next point. You're right about that. That's why I've told people this. Okay, I don't like resting guys in the final 2 games. Okay, I don't. There's too much time missed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, basketball is a rhythm sport. People like Giannis, they're not going to play at their best if they're sitting for 3 games.
Yep.
Play and a half. I don't care. All right, but like guys need to stay in a rhythm. I understand Milwaukee locked up, the best overall record. I understand that. I understand they locked up home court advantage. What good has that done us? Okay, outside of game 2, Milwaukee. I don't know, and maybe this would have happened even if they played them. I'm not 100% sure, but at least in game 1, they could have gotten off to obviously a better start than they did.
Well, that leads into my other point of they need to figure out the play-in better.
Okay.
The play-in is a really good idea, but it's because then you have a week where these guys aren't playing, and now you add in like some of these guys are going like 2 weeks almost without playing because they're sitting them, and then now they have a week off, and then while these other teams are playing 2 to 3 games and they're ready to go, and like they're charged, like it's like the season like to them never ended if they win accordingly. The season never ended, so they never had a gap. So you got guys who have played 2 games in a reasonable day's pace, and then you got guys who haven't played for a week to 2 weeks. And it's like, I'm not saying like that's why the Bucks, but like you mentioned the slow start. Well, yeah, they're gonna have a slow start because you can't let them play for a week. And it's like I say this every time. The NBA playoffs are stupid long.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. It's unfortunate because you get the 1 seed, like cool, but now you're sitting these guys, and now they're not going to play again because you're the 1 seed. I don't know. I just like the amount of time in between is just so dumb sometimes. It like, why is there 3 days for difference for a game that you're not traveling for?
Uh-huh.
You could do 1 day in between and go play again. You could do 2 days max. 3 is crazy.
And now it's like every other day now. So now
Yeah, and
Milwaukee plays tomorrow.
yeah, and now you got to fly. It's like, I don't know. My hands are moving for the people listening on Spotify eventually. My hands are moving in a way of like, I don't know how to answer that. It doesn't make it's so stupid.
I know.
It's so stupid. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, now they're flying. I'm not Adam Silver. I don't make the rules. But it's stupid. It's so stupid. I'm not saying that that's the reason why the Bucks have lost, but like so many teams just like lose dumb games because they're not playing.
Nah.
And these other teams are playing like nothing's changed. Again, no, not an excuse, but like just enough, like something that just grinds my gears.
Oh, Evan, what's not stupid is tomorrow's game on Wednesday. Milwaukee's court is finally finished.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little green court right there. Obviously, as we talked about before in last week's podcast episode, check it out. Milwaukee did obviously make some subtle changes, and those pictures got leaked. Mm-hmm. So you hopefully with the new court, Milwaukee can extend this game to a game 6. They need to, okay? Because because here's the thing: Milwaukee hasn't been a number 1 seed too many times in its history. It's unfamiliar territory because, number one, this is the first time that they've been down 3-1 in a series since the 2020 bubble against, you guessed it, the Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm.
And also, in the times that they've been a 1 seed, they've at least made it out of the second round. This is going to be the first time in Milwaukee Bucks history that if they lose tomorrow, it's going to be the first time in history that they get knocked out in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember the last time a 1 seed got knocked out in the first round. I do want to say
the Warriors.
I want to guess the Mavs. I want to guess the Mavs, and that was
Mavs
Warriors 2007. Warriors obviously an 8 seed. Mavs a 1 seed. Best overall record in the NBA. And
I don't think there's any in-betweeners, but if there are, obviously we'll fact check it the next time. But I
don't think so. And that was back in 2007 with the whatever they call it, the make-believe Warriors or something like that. But either way, it can't happen for Milwaukee tomorrow. Okay, you have so much talent on the roster: Holiday and Middleton and Giannis and Grayson Allen and Lopez. It can't happen tomorrow. Okay. It is funny that we talk about, oh my God, like in the regular season where we talked about, oh my God, Milwaukee just has so much depth. And all of a sudden, once you get to the playoffs, I'm like, where's the depth at? You're just kind of looking around. I'm like, it's not that Milwaukee doesn't have depth. It's just nobody's providing anything off the bench really outside of Bobby Portis. So, like, Joe Ingles had a good game too, and Peck also had an insane game too, but it's just those guys haven't really kept it up.
And then game 4, Joe Ingles plays 18 minutes and makes 1 3, and that's his only shot of the game. It's 2 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 fouls. It was like a little over just running around and doing like small things, but it's like if you're gonna play 18 minutes, you gotta contribute somehow. And 3 points, 2 assists, 2. I don't know. I
almost understand why Bruno cuts down the postseason rotation in the playoffs. Like at least a couple more guys would
So
like you gotta find like as many answers as you can. Like Beauchamp or Dragic or someone. Dragic has barely played this playoffs.
He's barely played on the Bucks.
God forbid Milwaukee really wanted him
for 2 years.
What?
For 2 years too. They wanted him last year.
Like picked him up down the side. We're not gonna use him. Who's better? We'll play Drew 41 minutes, or we'll play Javon Carter. But what has Javon Carter done?
Yeah,
Javon Carter. All he's done this playoffs is get a bunch of cardio in. He hasn't done anything.
Took
1 bad transition 3 in game 1 and made made a impossibly great game 2-3, which I probably could have made. I mean, goodness, anything was going in that night. So, I mean, it's frustrating. I wish Bunos would extend out the rotation a little bit. So, all right. Evan, you got anything else?
No, game 5 is tomorrow. We'll be on after the game. Again, outcome or not. See, like, you want the Bucks to win, but you don't want to get your hopes up and just lose game 6.
Yep.
It's a double-ended sword where
Yep.
you lose and you're done. You can get it over with, or you win and then you could just lose in game 7 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see tomorrow. I'm not predicting anything because every time I do that, it just goes wrong.
True. All right. So obviously, So tomorrow, game 5,
Yep.
8:30 p.m. Fiserv Forum, brand new court. So Milwaukee can extend to 6.
Again, it's not out of reach to win 3 in a row. It's been done before outside of obviously LeBron in the finals. It's different. But Kevin Durant, the Thunder blew one. I know the Jazz blew one. It's doable, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
Yep. So thank you guys for tuning in. This has been this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.